Hello, this is Smizlov the Slayer. I'm going to be doing another live Blitz chess game commentary. And this time I'm going to try to pay attention to the opening instead of just making bad moves. I think I'm going to go ahead and play d4 here against this bishop idea. And then here I'm going to go ahead and play e4. And basically my idea is that I'm going to go try to get this game to the King's Indian. And he's going to need to put his knight to f6, which he is trying to avoid at this point. So until he does play knight to f6, I'm going to delay knight to c3. And that way, if he plays something like c5, I can play d5, and the bishop can't take on c3, doubling these c-pawns, which is often an interesting strategy in this kind of position. And I think pretty decent for white. I mean for black, sorry. Because the doubled c-pawns they have difficulties. So here, this is actually very similar to the last game, and I want to make sure I don't lose my pawn. So I'm going to go ahead and play bishop to e3. And now c5 is not possible. e5, I can just play d5 and not worry about this b2 pawn. But otherwise, I do need to be a little wary of something getting to c5, and then bishop takes b2. Okay, so after e5, I'm just going to play d5. That's pretty easy. And this is actually now, I think, basically a standard King's Indians type game. And that is an interesting. I'm sorry, I'm a little stunned here. I think there's a way for white to get an advantage from this position. But I can't exactly see it. There's a lot of difficulties with that. One issue is that the light square bishop, I think black wants his light square bishop more than white. Yeah, I'm just going to play knight c3 and castle kingside. Whoa, okay, c5. I'm going to go ahead and... that's a tough one. That's definitely a tough one. It's going to be pretty difficult for me to attack his d6 pawn. Otherwise, I mean, if I don't take. And he'd be able to attack my c4 and e4 pawns a little bit too easily, I think. Now, if he plays c5 here... I think I would be fine with that. Wouldn't I? Yeah, I mean, that would be somewhat of a drawish position, I think. Because it would be blocked in, I would have the d5 square, he would have the d4 square. I wonder if I want to play c5 right now. That actually looks pretty tempting. That actually looks very tempting. Yeah, because now with this idea is that he doubles these pawns. They're going to be pretty easy to blockade. He does get a little bit better central control, but I'll also have the open c-file. And I will basically be able to get at these pawns pretty easily. And he's going to have a little bit of difficulty defending them. And I guess that's the basic idea. I'll be able to attack them and he won't be able to defend them that easily. Kind of like a reversed Nimzo Indian style of playing, I guess. Sort of. So let's see. One issue is I don't want to trade off this knight at all. I think here, knight just to b1. I mean, I think that works. That works. I've got queen to d2 if he tries to attack this b2 pawn. And if he plays queen to a5, I think I can play just a3. Yeah. Just queen to d2. And then b3 after I'm going to try to force him to play a rook here. Or there. I think I can go ahead and get away with this. And then b3. is going to be definitely on. Ooh, I got to be very, very careful about this e2 square. I didn't notice that at first, but b3 and queen takes c5 is just definitely is going to be my basic plan here. And then I will have got my pawn back, and he will have an isolated c pawn, and I will have my b3 pawn will not be isolated. And I still have good control over this, good control over the c4 square. So this thing is still blockaded. My knight's a little out there, but I think my knight's kind of would just be in the way if it was developed. So it's not that big a deal that it's not developed. And his bishop is just completely out of the game right now. So that's that they kind of trade off. His knight's not exactly doing much either. And hopefully after I take this c-pawn, then exchanging this knight off will become much easier and much better for me. Whereas now exchanging off will be terrible. But once this c-pawn falls, I can put some pressure on here, and then I mean this knight will these two knights do defend the c-pawn pretty well, but I can hopefully try to trade them off. So I'm not really sure what he's going where with that, but I'm just going to go ahead and take the c-pawn. I don't think the queen can invade anywhere, so really the best move is just going to be queen takes c5 or queen to b7, maybe. Don't think bishop takes d4 is good right now. Okay, that's now the e5 pawn is slightly under attack. The bishop, of course, is defending, but one of his best ways to develop his bishop would be to play bishop to f8, and that I don't think is possible unless unless the rook can get trapped. But it doesn't seem like it can get trapped. Now I still have this e2 square. I think I'm going to go ahead and play double up on the c file. And then maybe I can play king to f1 at some point, or like h3, king to h2, just something to get rid of this e2 threat. And I still can't get at this c pawn. Okay, that works. That works for me, definitely. Now, what do I want him to do with this? I can just trade off. No, but he gets his knight to f5, and then I win the c pawn. Or he gets his g pawn here, and he has two pawns. I honestly don't. And then he plays f4. And I play bishop to e2, and he has a backward pawn. The d5 square. Well, this is a pretty tough decision here, especially since I'm low on time. But it's also an important decision, so I'll take a little bit of time here. I'm going to go ahead and trade off because I think with the advantage I have positionally, I want to have more open lines. No, I'm really low on time though, but that's not a big deal. Okay, I'm going to move king to f1, king to e2. That'll help get the king on this d file. Also open up the g file for my rooks. I got h4, h5. That just kind of weakens my position. This h pawn is kind of a liability, but so is his. f4, king to d2, or bishop to d2, and the knight's protecting. King to e2, maybe rook to c2 at some point. Although I have good control of the d2 square right now anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. If he plays e4, I just takes, and then that's all fine for me. King to e2, bishop to d2, maybe just to get this rook out. h4. Let's see. I'll go ahead and just play. Ooh, I'm really low on time. Maybe I shouldn't have taken so long with that move. Knight to c3, knight to a4, or maybe knight to e1 or something. Bishop to d2. Yeah, I really just have to make really fast moves. So, sorry, I can't really commentate right now. Just hold on. What's he doing? Is he lagging? I bet he's lagging. No, he forfeited on time. Okay, well that worked out well. And especially since I've been playing kind of poorly. I mean, that wasn't great, but winning on time is never exactly like how you want to do it, but that's that. I played I think a lot better this game than I did the last couple of games. So that's that's nice. And I did take a little bit too much time here. What was that? Did I take a minute? Oh my goodness. I took a minute 10 on that. So that's not really good time management, but oh well. And I don't even know if I made the right decision. I think it's not I mean, maybe he had more open lines than me, Sorry. I guess let's see. I really like that the C5 pawn sacrifice. I thought was really good. I think that was pretty decent. Maybe getting to this position was bad though. I think that's probably accurate. That's probably true. Maybe even allowing the knight to get on d4 like I did. Maybe I should have played d5 right here. Yeah, I think that's going to be better because then oh, I mean, I guess he has the same idea here, doesn't he? Just of knight to d4. I mean, well, maybe bishop takes f3. Knight takes c6, then bishop takes g2. No, bishop takes e2. Queen takes e2. I mean, I don't see that working out. So I think, yeah, d5, bishop takes f3, knight to d4. And it's the same kind of idea. So I'm not really sure. I think there's probably some way of this might be a good time to like just go to a book and sort of see like, well, what because it looks bad to me, and I'm sure there's a way to just sort of make it not work out that well. I don't know if it's like refuted or anything, but at least just to have it be. I mean, maybe the d4 ideas. I don't know. It just looks bad to me. So I'm sure there's some way to play pretty well against it. But it might not be so. Maybe not. But I don't know. I mean, I thought this position was pretty good, but at the same time, he did have the B file and the D file. He had a lot of activity with his rooks, which I kind of underestimated, I think, when I made this move, which is why I got into trouble here in this portion of the endgame. So, which is pretty funny because I took a minute and 10 seconds on this move, and I probably made the wrong one anyway. That happens. But anyway, at least I played better. So thanks for watching.